I made this video last week. Basic thesis of the video is that YouTube doesn't do enough to support their community, that is creators on the platform. I didn't release it because I thought it was too harsh a critique. And then this morning I look at the creator app here, and I saw that this travel vlog, which is the most innocuous vlog ever, it's literally me going to Indonesia to sit down with the president of Indonesia, was demonetized. So here's my kind of long and boring but critical commentary on YouTube and how they should do a better job looking after their community. Last week there was a gigantic controversy here on YouTube, a controversy that I found myself just accidentally at the very heart of. It had to do with demonetization and hypocrisy and unfair treatment of one channel over another on YouTube. And in the end, I think YouTube might actually be changing policy because of the uproar. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link Phil DeFranco's video on the subject below. Phil does an absolutely fantastic job of explaining the circumstances around that controversy. Controversies come and go. There's always going to be something people are upset about when you have as big of a user base as YouTube has. What caught me off guard was just how upset a huge swath of the YouTube community was at YouTube. And not just because of this controversy. This controversy just proved to be sort of a catalyst for a lot of the community to speak up about what upsets them about YouTube. I genuinely don't feel YouTube does enough to take care of and look after their community. Now, before I unpack that, let me just say I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I owe so much of my career to YouTube. I travel the world evangelizing YouTube. I want this platform to succeed. Also, I personally know much of the leadership team, the executive team at YouTube. I truly believe that in their heart, they think and they're working towards doing what they feel is the very best, not just for YouTube's bottom line, but for everybody, that is the community, creators, the viewers, everybody on YouTube. I think they think that they're really doing the best they could do. I just don't agree with them. I don't think that they're doing enough for the community. That's what I want to talk about. Now, with any business, in order to be successful, you have to do things that your competition isn't doing. You have to have a product that people want over whatever the competition is. And this is my very naive understanding of YouTube's business. So the first tentacle of their business is search. Search is the way my dad uses YouTube. He can't figure out how to use his cell phone. He Googles it. He lands on YouTube watching a video as to how to fix his cell phone. Next is we have YouTube Red. YouTube Red, subscription service, $10 a month. The original content's so good, you're willing to give them that money so you can see their unique original content. YouTube TV is $35 a month, and you get what is normally on regular TV, but on YouTube with some other features. All right, the last, and what I think is certainly the biggest part, at least from my perspective of YouTube's business, is the YouTube community. That's most likely most of you watching this video, people who subscribe to other people's channels, people who upload, people who a big gigantic community that is a web of people all over the world that contribute, that consume, that consider YouTube a part of who they are and what they do. And just judging anecdotally from what I've been able to gather and what I see all the time in a conversation that just doesn't seem to die, is that a lot of the community is unhappy with YouTube. The more I think about it, the more I empathize with that perspective. I think the community being upset is an existential threat to YouTube's entire business, meaning that if this community isn't happy, if this community isn't constantly psyched about what YouTube is doing, I think that could prove to be a crack in the foundation of the company that is YouTube that could ultimately give way and be extremely disruptive to their business. So let's rewind a couple months back to ADPOCALYPSE, which was earlier this year. Some controversial content put on YouTube that had ads in front of it. Advertisers flipped out and they didn't want to be in front of this content. They went to YouTube. YouTube immediately bent over. What can we change? How can we please you advertisers so you'll continue to advertise on this platform? A lot of creators, a lot of that community got hit very, very hard. Some of my friends saw a drop literally of 80%. Imagine you have a day job, you work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. You show up for those 40 hours, you work as hard as you can, and for that you are paid $500 a week. That's your take home, $500 a week. Then ADPOCALYPSE, something completely out of your control, something that you had no part of on either side, and now you're still showing up at work, you're still working from 9 to 5, you're putting in your 40 hours a week, you're still busting your ass, but instead of getting paid that $500 a week, your take home is now $100 a week. Okay, that sucks, but shit happens. Now imagine this. Your boss doesn't tell you what's going on. You can't get in touch with your boss. You don't know how to get in touch with your boss. You look around for answers. There are no answers anywhere, and there's no one telling you what's going on. Will your income ever come back? Is it ever going to go back to where it was? How long until it goes back to where it was? Why is my income being affected even though I'm doing the same thing I've always done and I wasn't part of the problem to begin with? The thing that was most troubling for me of all of that was the lack of communication, the lack of transparency on the part of YouTube, the boss, to the people showing up for work every day, which is the community, the people who are uploading with a regular schedule, putting the same amount of work, the same amount of energy, and the same amount of expense into the content they're creating, but now they're getting paid only a fraction of what they did. Okay, so YouTube's reaction to their advertisers was loud and was clear. We're going to fix this. Our trust and safety issues are going to be made number one. We will take care of this. This is a great place for you to advertise. We're going to give you all kinds of new tools to make this possible. What they weren't loud about, at least to the community as I understood it, was how those changes are going to affect the community, how they can aid the community, what changes the community should expect, and on and on. So what does this feel like from the community's perspective? It's that advertisers are a bigger priority to this platform than the community. So then when this controversy takes place last week, wherein they demonetize a creator's video for talking about a tragedy, but not Jimmy Kimmel, one of their bigger, more corporate partners, it sort of reeks of hypocrisy. And again, the community felt like a second-class citizen. The community felt like much less of a priority to the platform than these bigger, more mainstream outlets. And that is the problem. The community not feeling good about the platform. See, this part of YouTube's business, this is duplicatable. Somebody else could do this. They might do it better, but this isn't enough. This here original programming, YouTube's doing good work there. I believe we'll do better work in the future, but even so, YouTube's spending a couple $100 million a year on original programming. Netflix is spending $7 billion. I think you can objectively say that in this facet of their business, YouTube's trying to play catch up, but this is a long play. TV, well, TV. It's the community that makes YouTube special. Community is the only thing that none of YouTube's competition has. See, community is what makes YouTube extraordinary. Community is the one thing that none of their competitors have been able to copy. It's the YouTube community that provides the armor, the body armor that YouTube needs against competition. No matter what they do, they're not going to get through this. Now, I think that this disruption could take place when two things happen. The first thing being a competitor shows up, a competitor that gives creators access to a bigger audience and gives creators better opportunities to monetize their content. So the first thing that has to happen is a really viable competitor to YouTube. The second thing that has to happen is for the community to have lost faith in YouTube. I don't think that's happened. I hope that never happens. But if those two things, the community loses faith, and then there's a competitor that offers a bigger audience and a better way to monetize, I think there's a very real chance for disruption within the entire YouTube community. And this is not apples to apples here, but I point to Vine. Vine is a company that had tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of monthly active users. It was a vibrant platform. But when the top 20 of their top 50 creators felt like there wasn't real opportunity to make a living off the platform, and they went to the powers that be within that platform asking for more, and they weren't given what they needed to feel taken care of, they left Vine. And about a year later, the entire platform had to shut down. There were a lot of factors why Vine went out of business, but that was certainly one of them. Little bit of irony, the majority of those top Viners that left the competing platform that offered a better way to monetize and a broader audience was in fact YouTube. When I think back to the height, the peak of ADPOCALYPSE, I had never heard the word Twitch used so much within the YouTube community before. People announcing their Twitch shows and what their intentions were, people going there who weren't gamers, people really redefining what that platform was. True enthusiasm for a competitor. And when you think about Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or any of these other digital distribution platforms right now, they've all got money, they're all willing to spend money, and they're trying to figure out how to diversify their audience in a way that could ultimately invite them to knock on the door of this community. They may want a piece of this. This is a story yesterday. Amazon to compete with YouTube ad opportunities. Now, this isn't exactly literally a story that's about poaching the community, but I think it is. I think it does illustrate the competition is looking to YouTube, saying, how can we get a piece of that? So where does this leave us? Because this video is not just, I didn't just make this video so I could bitch. I made this video because I wanted to share my thinking with my audience, and maybe even share my thinking with some people at YouTube who might be seeing this. Solutions. What are solutions that could be made? Short answer, I don't know. It's not my $40 billion company. I'm just part of this community that wants to see this platform succeed. So no, I don't really have any real solutions, but I have some. Well, one idea. So going back to the Jimmy Kimmel tragedy monetization situation, turns out that Jimmy Kimmel is able to sell his own ads against his own content on YouTube, meaning that instead of relying on YouTube to sell commercials to go in front of his videos, they have their own team that sells them autonomously from the platform, maybe at an increased rate. I don't know, the details are not public, but maybe can I, or why can't I sell my own ads? Why not build us creators, or at least creators that make a living off this platform, why not build us a suite of tools or a marketplace wherein we could advertise our channel and what our channel represents, and maybe suggest advertisers or demographics that we feel might dovetail the best with the content that we're putting out there, and because of that raise our premiums or something like that. Why not give us greater agency over how our content is monetized? That way, when there is a situation like an adpocalypse, we are not collectively punished along with the people who caused the controversy in the first place. Just a thought. Here's a small one, your trending page. I love your trending page because I'm on your trending page every single week. I don't know why, I appreciate it, but every time I'm on the trending page, I'm psyched because it means more views, but I go to Twitter and a lot of the community is gently angry at me because it seems unfair that I'm always there. So is it that there's a person at YouTube that maybe just likes my work and that's why I'm always there? Is it the algorithm? I don't know, but maybe a little bit of transparency there, maybe something that shows us, the creators, why I'm there. Maybe a little icon that just says like staff pick, or an icon that says like surging in the algorithm, or an icon that says paid, if there are videos that are allowed to be paid to be put on the trending page. And that comes back to the same two principles: communication, transparency. Another one about compensation, and this seems kind of like a no-brainer. Right now, creators on your platform get paid based on the amount of ads that can run against their videos. More video views, the more money. That's great. Very clean transaction. But that just means the community is getting paid one time for that one ad. Meanwhile, YouTube, the company, is growing, is increasing in value broadly. What about something where we could choose to be paid in YouTube or in Google stock, or in some sort of way that would appreciate along with the growth of the company? I know that would make me feel more vested in the platform as a creator. And this one's less of an actionable and more of an idea, but the Kardashian show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it's on Bravo or E or something like that. Whenever a new season comes out, every billboard in the country is plastered with Kim Kardashian's face. She's celebrated, she's put on TV, she's in magazines, they're everywhere because the channel that hosts her show wants to make sure that people know it's taking place. Kim Kardashian, her family, is celebrated by the platform that distributes her content. One thing that I see very, very little of is YouTube as a company celebrating its community. What that means, I don't really know. Is it more support? Is it literally putting people's faces on billboards? Is it a way of elevating new creators? Is it a way of like I said, I don't know what the actionables are here, but I do think that there should be a much broader initiative to show like a real appreciation for what this entire community has brought to this platform. And that's something I see very, very little of. All right, I think I should stop there. I could keep going ad nauseum. This video is literally just a video version of a conversation I have with my YouTube peers all the time. But I love and I believe in and I want YouTube to succeed on every level. And when I see the community feeling upset towards the platform itself, it bothers me. So I want to use this channel to speak up about that. All right. Thank you. This is a regrettably perfect ending to this video. Remember the first shot of this video where I started by saying YouTube had demonetized a really innocuous video of mine, a travel vlog where I went to Indonesia. I appealed their decision to demonetize it, meaning that I was right, it shouldn't have been demonetized. And what do you know? Look at that. YouTube agreed with me, and remonetized it. And because of that, because their algorithm made the wrong call, it costs me. Now, I don't know how you feel about having your income reduced because whoever writes your check screwed up, but it doesn't make me feel good. I don't think it makes the community feel good either.